Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another episode of THS Lives here tonight on this beautiful Friday night here at the Horror Syndicate. My name is Brian Enright. Let's get my tag up there right now. You can follow me on Facebook at Brian Enright. Don't mind the child screaming in the background. She fell and landed on her face or something like that. But you can follow me at the Horror Jew. You know, it's just one of those things, being a parent and being live and doing everything,
we're live.
Yeah, we're live. So, but yeah. So, if you follow me at the Horror Jew on Instagram, Twitter, all that fun stuff, you can follow me on Facebook at Brian Enright. Up next, we have Jared Letourneau. Jared, before you start talking, let me get this straight because we are live, and I think you're good to go. Jared, good evening, man.
Good evening, Brian, and all you boils and ghouls at home. You guys can follow me on Facebook at Jared Letourneau or on the Twitterverse at zombie_survivor. Oh, wait. I have to have a wardrobe change. I'll be right back.
All right. So while Jared's going to get into his birthday suit, up next, we have award-winning director Mike Lombardo of I'm Dreaming of a White Doomsday. Mike, good evening.
Hi, Brian. Really happy to be here. Long-time listener, first-time guest. Really excited.
30th time guest.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I love horror movies.
You like Meteor shit, too.
I do. This is my Creepshow shirt. Meteor shit. Game over. It's in honor of the Creepshow Blu-ray that I'm not going to be ordering from Scream Factory until the ridiculous price drops.
Yeah, but if it comes in that box, it's almost worth it. Almost.
It is, but I just saw the list of extras, and there's like 3 new commentary tracks by like random people, but there's like they don't have the work print or any of the cool shit. Like the Candyman Blu-ray has more extras than the Creepshow one does.
Yeah, but Creepshow's been released on Blu-ray before Candyman hasn't.
Yeah, but not like a real edition of it, so it's kind of a bummer. I don't know. I mean, I'm still gonna buy it. Like I'm excited for it, but it's also only 1 disc, and Candyman's 2 discs, and I'm kind of concerned about that. If that means all the new extras are not very long.
I don't know, because Candyman is probably the DVD and Blu-ray, wouldn't it be?
Now it's a 2 disc with just more extras. There's a lot of shit on the Candyman Blu-ray.
Good. That makes me happy.
So it's gonna be something. It's gonna be something.
I'm back and I'm not naked.
Nice shirt.
All right. Thank you very much, Mike. And of course, last but not least, our president of the Horror Syndicate. Hold on real quick. There's Jared's shirt right there. We go. Dude Bro Party Massacre 3. If you have not seen Dude Bro Party Massacre 3, then you are missing out on that ScreamTeamReleasing.com movie.
Can't believe you bought that shirt.
Up next, we have our president, Ray Merrick of the Horror Syndicate. Ray, good evening.
Good evening, all. I'm wearing Suspiria, Joel Robinson art. You can find me at Razor_33. Razor on Instagram, where I am doing a thing where I'm wearing 31 different horror shirts in 31 days. So this is day 5. And I'm also doing, I'm partaking in the 30 movies in 30 day thing. And today was your favorite horror movie, which was The Nightmare on Elm Street for me. And what else am I doing? Oh, my top 33 horror movies of all time, which nobody cares about. So anyway, that's it. Back to you, man.
I care.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us. Sorry I missed out last week. I had to do some other stuff that prohibited me from fully functioning, and I had to actually go be a fully functioning adult. I'm not so much a fully functioning pod show host, but tonight I'm here. I'm very alive. I'm not lethargic. I'm awake. I got my copy of Creepshow.
Yeah, me too. I got that. I have the clamshell VHS too.
Oh, you have the clamshell VHS?
Yep, limited edition. And by limited edition, I mean I bought it at a video store closed out like 25 years ago. It smells like old cigarettes.
Did you still have a bill with them? You never paid it off?
No.
So file that chapter 13.
There's mine right there.
Oh, look at that. You have it on Blu-ray.
Dude, that Blu-ray, does that have anything on it, or is it just like a DVD rip?
Well, buckle your seatbelts. It has the theatrical trailer.
Whoa, hold on. What edition is that? I need to get me a copy.
I know.
Does it have closed captions and menus?
I don't know if it has menus, but it has 1080p high definition.
I always love I love when they say like special features, subtitles for the hearing impaired.
Yeah, I think it is just a DVD. I mean, look at the back. It's almost exactly the same.
Oh wow, look at that.
So yeah, I feel ripped off now. I never even noticed that.
That's incredible.
I went out and bought myself the Chucky complete 7 movie collection at Best Buy today. Retail price for the Blu-ray is $39.99. I got this for $15.44.
Hell of a good deal.
Really?
Yeah. Well,
do they have extras on them as well?
They do have an extra bonus feature: Seed of Chucky.
I mean, I love Seed of Chucky. I'm one of the few, but
I still have yet to see Seed of Chucky, so
I liked it better than Bride of Chucky, actually.
I did not like Bride of Chucky.
Wasn't John Ritter in Bride of Chucky?
I don't know, but John Waters is in Seed of Chucky.
Yes, he is.
I think John Ritter was the dad cop. It was like one of his final movies. So tragic.
Oh, that's right. He had a heart attack, didn't he? On set, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That's a shame. I like John Ritter. He was fun.
Yeah, I always remember that movie Stay Tuned with
oh my God, I love Stay Tuned.
Isn't that like?
Yeah, you guys ever see Stay Tuned?
Oh yeah. It's got the gal from Mork and Mindy in it.
Pam it's on the TV and they're on all the channels. It's kind of like Waxwork 2, but not shitty.
All right, Mike.
And that had the and that starred Jim Jeffries, the kid diddler, right? He's a kid.
Yeah. That one's still a black eye for me because I love Beetlejuice and I love Ed Wood, and it's hard for me sometimes when I have to watch it. I'm like, fuck that guy! Like, what a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Because he's such a great actor. What do you say, Ryan?
Who are you talking about?
The dad in Beetlejuice, and he plays the psychic I can't remember his real name in Ed Wood.
Jeffrey Jones.
Jim Jeffries.
Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah, he paid like a 12-year-old boy to strip for him.
Yeah, I remember. I was watching Deadwood when I found out about that.
Yeah, it's just.
Deadwood. It's also in Mom and Dad Save the Earth.
Yeah, he's
in a great movie.
In Ferris Bueller's Day Off too.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, he's the principal.
That's right. Jeffrey Jones, Damien Maffei from Strangers Pray at Night, and I'm doing White Doomsday on here with the.
I actually said that, but whatever.
I said Jim Jeffries. I
kept thinking Jim Jones.
He's the Australian comedian, right? Jim Jeffries. He's not a kid diddler. Jeffrey Jones is.
Not to be confused with Jeffrey Rush, who was in House on Haunted Hill remake.
Or Jim Jones of Jonestown Massacre.
Buying until it gets cheaper from Scream Factory.
Oh shit! How much is that going for? Like $25.99 now?
$35.
Wait.
$7.49.
A Scream Factory release is $35.99.
That's what they've been. That's what they fucking changed it to. And on Amazon, they don't go on sale till like 2 weeks later. I had to wait to buy Brain Scan. I'm like, I love Brain Scan, but I don't fucking $34.93 love Brain Scan.
Yeah, no, I don't blame you. I mean, I usually go to Best Buy and they always have like great sales on Scream Factory releases.
They don't have the new Scream Factory stuff listed anymore. I was reading the comments on all the pages. I think that they're trying to like embargo so that people have to buy off the website first, then they get their deals later. Which makes sense, but it sucks for me because I can't afford that.
Yeah, I actually got the thing when the thing first came out as a Scream Factory edition. It was like so hard to get, and Best Buy had it like for a short while for like $18.99, right? Like when they first came out. Yeah,
Brian, you messaged me about that, and I went and bought it immediately.
Yeah,
yeah, I remember that.
I found it. They had one copy left, and I bought it.
I paid $25 for it, but it was worth. I would have paid $35 for that and been happy. That's one of the best Blu-ray sets I've ever seen. The extras on that were so phenomenal.
Oh my god! Did you watch the televised version of the thing? It's garbage.
Oh, the TV version? No, but I that's on there. But I watched it.
It is on there.
You guys ever read this? The Alan Dean Foster novelization?
I've got 3 different copies of the thing.
The novelization was based on one of the original scripts, and it's different than the movie. It's really cool.
Really
interesting.
Yeah, but you know, no thing dick measuring contest would be complete without
oh god. This is where I
That's
the
just
show-
an original shooting script. No big deal.
I'm ending the show. Michael Lombardo once again.
You just won the day.
I haven't read it yet. It's different.
Oh, hold on. You want to keep going?
If there's gonna be a severed head in there, I'm gonna be very upset.
There you go. I win. The 2012 version, or whatever year it was.
You know what sucks
hold
about
on.
that?
Hold on a minute. We were having a contest who has cooler collectibles, not who has worse decision-making skills.
No, I got it for $2 at Family Video.
You know what?
I would revisit it for $2.
I would too.
I have you guys all beat because I have the cult movie art gallery. It's got all your cult movies and where you can buy your artwork. There's a couple, they have simple art right there. It's a Monster Squad and a Predator. They have the Thing in here too.
What is this? I've never seen this book.
It's a collection of all movie arts. It's called Cult Movie Art. Gallery 1988 is crazy for cult. It has all of the introductions by Seth Rogen. So
oh shit! That just put a bigger price tag on it for me.
Yeah. We got some artwork from Alien and RoboCop. I guess RoboCop is zombified, but yeah, they have
Spaceballs.
Yeah, that's Spaceballs. Right. I was like, I hope he's joking.
Hello, my baby. Hello, my honey.
He got
Hello,
you
my
know,
ragtime gal.
They have some pretty cool art though. I definitely want to buy myself some. We got Mushnick Explorers from Little Shop of Mars.
Yeah.
Xeno Marvin is eating a rocket pop. So there's that. Yeah. So
is that how they say xenomorph in Boston? It's a xenomorph.
So while Mike and Ray are wiping the sweat off their forehead with my ginormous dick in this dick showing contest, can't wait to see what else Mike has to pull out.
I'm trying to think. All my other Thing collectibles are downstairs, but I do have a lot of stuff. I have all the old Movie Maniac Thing toys. I have a cool like loot crate thing that Lex got me. Oh God, no. Okay, I will be right back. I've got Wait, 1 second.
So this is just a regular.
I have Dirty Dancing on DVD. It's the 20th anniversary collector's edition.
Ooh.
All right, that's it. You just destroyed all of us because nobody puts Ray Merrick in a corner.
Yeah, nobody puts Razor in a corner.
I can pull out a thing reference that can help segue us into our topic for the evening.
Oh, I have the video game downstairs too.
I love the video game. It was so good.
That sets
Shut your beautiful mouth, Mike Lombardo.
Set your faces to motherfucker. You know what this is?
Oh my god.
You know what this is? This is sculpted by Rob Bottin. This is a makeup and adhesive remover container with brush holders that he sculpted. There's only 50 of these in existence.
Whoa.
Ryan Keane got this from Rob Bottin as a gift for me.
Nice.
Yeah, well, I tell you what, I've got a Coldies candy thing.
You son of a bitch. I see your candy. I raise you a Sheets card.
Okay, I got this. I don't know what it is.
You know what? You guys suck. I have an unopened bag of Wright Brothers bright colored red pens.
Ooh.
Unopened.
Wait. Bob Rose said, "Who has the collection of Twilight dildos?" I do. Who's with me? I don't have the dildo collection, but I do have this.
Uh-oh.
He's got the Edward fleshlight.
I've got the Team Jacob magnet.
Son of a bitch.
Oh my god.
Well, you know what? The only thing I can say to that is I got the Bard on VHS.
Damn
yes.
This is.
We are flying off the rails early tonight, kids.
Mike, I have to have a word with you after the show.
I know that you're Team Edward, Ray. I didn't want to bring it up on the air and call you out, but I got 6 reasons I'm Team Jacob, and they're all packs.
Jesus
We're
Christ.
not talking about the pack he runs with either, right?
Yeah, no, not at all. So anyway, what was the topic of the show tonight?
We were doing something. I think we're going to talk about horror video games, which Jared has. He has the thing from 2003.
That motherfucker has me beat. because I don't have my copy upstairs. It's downstairs.
I have it on PlayStation 2 somewhere. It's
Yeah,
right next to the Suffering and Manhunt 1 and 2.
Oh, girl, I love those. I just sold my Suffering cardboard cutout. It was like a 5-foot electric chair with the guy in it. The cover. I've had that since the game came out. Very, very cool game.
That was a great game. I think that was like one of the first games where you where your ending was based on how many innocent people you let die.
Yeah, that game was trying to save her, but it was fucking hard as shit. So I guess we'll just kick this off right into it. Like, that's one of my picks, actually, was The Suffering. PlayStation 2. For those of you who have not played the game, it's set in a prison, and you're a convicted murderer on death row. And it's the whole game you're trying to figure out if you actually killed your wife or not. But it's cool because it's a third-person like shooter, like action game. With a lot of a horror game, but you could switch into first person at will, which was one of the first games I ever played where you could do that. And the creature design was done by Stan Winston Studios, so that was really awesome. They all represent a different method of execution, which is really cool. There was like creatures with like hypodermic needles for eyes, and that was like lethal injection. And then there was like firing squad things that like guns growing out of them and shit. It was a really fucking scary game too. Story. They made 2 of them. The second one kind of sucks. But I love the first one.
I brought some things I found in the basement I wanted to show off.
Uh-oh.
What's that?
Well, just some games like that.
Oh,
yeah, from the Dreamcast.
Oh,
Yeah.
dude, I have the PlayStation version. Is the Dreamcast one better graphics, I imagine?
Yeah, they were. Sorry,
now is that the one that had like the Resident Evil fixed camera angles?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, hold on. I've got.
Oh, I have that.
I had to rebuy it. I had the DualShock version, and it disappeared, so I had to rebuy it. That's why it's greatest hits. And then I just found these the other day. I have 2 somewhere, but Dreamcast of Resident Evil 3 and Code Veronica.
Oh, excellent.
Just hold
There
on.
you go.
I'm not close to done yet. I found all this stuff in the basement the other day. The best Resident Evil game ever.
Oh,
God. Oh, God.
Set my eyes on fire.
I don't want to say I dislike that game more than Resident Evil 4, but I think I dislike that game more than Resident Evil 4.
Doesn't this game make Lex Quinn rich?
Yes.
Okay. Anyway, then I've got
that is phenomenal. The remake is fucking amazing. Like, that's a high watermark for survival horror.
There's 2.
Ooh, the best game ever made. Ooh, I never played the GameCube versions of the ports. Were they better?
When these came out, 2 and 3, they were almost impossible to find. And I worked at Toys R Us when they came out, and we got 2 copies of each end, and me and my buddy bought both of them because we were like fuck customers. And then of course 4, Code Veronica.
There you go. I got mine over there.
Yep.
Yeah, I buy games multiple times too. Apparently. 5.
Oh.
And then 6, of course.
I love 6. 6 was not a bad game if you have someone to play with. I got these 2 bad boys. I don't know where the original case is, but the scariest thing about these right here was playing these without a memory card. That was
God.
That's a scary fucking thing.
Was scariest fucking thing.
Well, let me tell you something, Brian. When I got my PlayStation in '95, my original PlayStation, the first game I went out to get was Resident Evil. Had no clue what a fucking memory card was.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I had to start over every time I was playing the game. Matter. Oh
yeah. I remember I played Manhunt when I actually rented Manhunt from a store. I was staying over at my cousin's house and they had a PlayStation 2. They didn't have a memory card, so I played Manhunt and beat it within 24 hours. Now, those of you who are at home who have never played Manhunt but you've only heard things about it, it's probably one of the hardest games I've ever played on any system. It's really fucking hard. And you get punished if you do not do everything precise, stealth wise. Like, it's really cool, and you feel very much rewarded when you get the special kills in, especially when you hold it in and you get the yellow and of course like the red.
What the game is, if anyone doesn't know what Manhunt is somehow.
I got both of them.
Good job.
If Brian, do you have the case or anything by chance?
I just have the single copy because I lost my original copy because I never owned one. I rented it, but then when the video game stores started discontinuing PlayStation 2 titles, they had them available in sleeves. So I was able to get myself a copy of Manhunt 1 and 2. Manhunt 2, I actually have. It's unplayable because I have the UK version, and it's uncensored.
I want some milk.
So I've been dying to play it for the longest time.
Well, go on the website. You can buy the uncut version. They got an AO rating, and they censored it. They did release it for the PC uncut.
Did they?
Yes.
Okay.
Uncut, just like Mike.
I've only watched YouTube, which is really surprising because I watched the uncut death scenes on YouTube, and you're going back to the first original Manhunt, and the first original Manhunt seemed a lot more graphic than Manhunt 2.
I agree with that. I think that what it was in Manhunt 2 is the tone of it was a lot nastier, because there's like parts where you're in like suburbia and you're killing cops and stuff, like killing innocent people, not just gang members, and I think the tone is a lot darker in the second one. So for anyone who doesn't know what Manhunt is, it's a game from Rockstar, the people that made GTA, Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah.
Convicted death row inmate, and instead of executing you, they sedate you, and you wake up in an abandoned factory with an earpiece in, and there's a director telling you he's talking to you the whole time, and he's telling you that you're going to be hunted down by a bunch of gangs, kind of like the Warriors, but you're basically the star of a snuff film, and you have to fight your way out. So you have to sneak around and execute, like murder people as graphically as possible for the camera, so you can, and that's how you get points. So it is fucking disgustingly violent. Yeah. It's actually one of my first short films ever was a parody. It was called Manhunt. I was an impressionable teenager. I made it when I was like 15. Interesting.
Yeah, and it's definitely a game that had a lot of replay value. Like once you were done beating it, you could play it again, and then you could start unlocking stuff once you get like like the high scores. So you play as the Bunny Man outfit, which if you played the game, you know what I'm talking about. If you now played the game, he's a character you chase after in the prison level. Manhunt was cool because it was the first time we got to play the Running Man.
Pretty much.
The video game.
It's like the Running Man meets the Purge.
Yeah, and I think what happened with Manhunt 2, you're right, Mike, is that the tone was definitely more bleak. It was like Fight Club meets like Henry Portrait of a Killer, and it's like it was
you're a serial killer, and it's there's the level that got them in trouble was called Sexual Deviance, and it's a bondage club, and there's basically like a hostile sort of deal going on down below. Yeah, and that's what got them into a lot of trouble with the ratings board. I still don't think it was hardcore enough to warrant them censoring it to the level that they did, but I mean there was some pretty nasty shit in there.
Yeah, I mean it wasn't hot coffee from Grand Theft Auto San Andreas.
Yeah, well it's just funny because now any normal like teen rated game is more graphic than Manhunt 2, like nowadays, but that's totally okay.
Yeah, speaking of which, I know that that they announced a couple of cool additions to the remake of Resident Evil 2, and on top of that, they also mentioned that it's not just a remake to Resident Evil 2; it's a different experience. Whereas the remastered of Resident Evil, the graphics were updated. They had a little bit of side missions that you didn't get in the first game, but in Resident Evil 2, it's like you're playing a completely different game, but you're playing the same game that you played over 20 years ago. And some of the additions that they have released is there's an edition for $500. You can get yourself a typewriter and ink ribbon. It's an actual working typewriter replica from the first Resident Evil 1, 2, and 3 games. And then, of course, the one that I'm waiting to hear more about is the Resident Evil 2. It's apparently more extreme. It's more violent. There's more gore. I don't know when the announcement of that is coming out, but they announced that there will be a Resident Evil 2 Extreme Edition that has more more gore and violence. So I'm looking forward to that.
It already looks pretty fucking gory from the videos that I've seen.
Extreme Edition.
But I'll tell you, I'll tell you, my next pick is far more violent than any of the games we've talked about before, and I don't think it will ever be topped, honestly.
Yeah.
If anyone in the chat room knows this game, going back to, I believe, 1998 on the PC, Harvest.
Holy shit. I've never even heard of that.
FM game. This game is a little live action. This game is so fucked up. It's unfucking believable.
Is that the one where they eat kids?
Yeah, no, the kids are eating their mom.
That's what it
They're
is.
eating her in her thighs, saying like, "Mommy, you taste so good," as she explains to you that motherhood is a lie because children are parasites and they leech off of you. It's basically, the game is like if Twin Peaks was directed by Jeffrey Dahmer and like David Cronenberg, then it would be Harvester. It is just so fucking whacked out. Like it's set in the 50s. You wake up and you don't, in like sitcom America, and you don't remember who you are or what's going on. And it's this really bizarre, like twisted little town. And you have to go around and talk to people. And the only thing you know is that you're supposed to join the lodge, which is like kind of like a sort of like an Elks Lodge type of deal. And in order to get in there, they give you a series of tasks that always end up backfiring horribly and getting somebody killed or mutilated. Mm-hmm. And you talk to all these characters, and this game has incest, cannibalism, pedophilia, rape, murder.
Sounds like a smorgasbord of a good time.
It was so vile. It's actually available on GOG.com, GOG.com. You can download it for like $4. They updated it for modern PCs. It is so whacked out. It's my favorite game of all time, and I should not have played it when I was a kid because it's definitely not appropriate for children in the slightest. And if you don't believe me, go on YouTube and look up Harvester videos, and you'll see, because when it got released on GOG, people just went crazy, like, what the fuck is this game? Because no one had ever heard of it. Because it kind of came and went. There's like a baby whose eyeballs pop out and bugs are crawling out, and the mom just pushes them back in.
Oh yeah.
Like,
I saw it, but it was like 90s graphics.
Yeah, it's a 90s FMV game.
Yeah, but I mean, like the CGI was like 90s. Like, yeah, it's what happens when you turn the brightness on all the way up when you're watching the Relic. I get it.
Yeah,
the Phantasmagoria had like live action stuff like that too.
It's like Phantasmagoria and Puzzle of Flesh. It's the same style of game. FMV.
Yeah. That's cool.
They just I don't know if you guys saw it. I showed it to you guys. You said Phantasmagoria and it had me thinking of it. Phantasm 3 and 4 have just been released on Blu-ray. They just hit Best Buy shelves this week.
That's really cool. I have the Well Go box set, which is what those are from. And it's really exciting that those are available separately now, because that's sold out like instantaneously, and it's going for like a couple $100 now. So I'm glad people are going to be able to grab those singles.
I have that too.
And possibly have their collection cheaper than buying it in the box set.
You can find more information on thehorrorsyndicate.com because I posted an article about it. Here's the set Mike is talking about.
I still haven't watched it. I've been meaning to.
I've gotten through the first 3 in this set. I still haven't seen 5 yet at all, but they look great.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see
the first one. Well, the second one is the Scream Factory edition. You can actually see the little logo.
Yep.
Look at that.
But the first one came out on Blu-ray right before this edition, and then this popped up, so I was kind of pissed because I didn't want to double dip in Phantasm. But yeah, so if they're the Well Go, I know 3 looks great. Reggie looks fantastic as usual. So pick them up.
I've got some cool news. Speaking of Phantasm, tomorrow I'm going to meet Don Coscarelli and see Phantasm at the Alamo Drafthouse in Yonkers, New York. So
nice.
Screening, because he's got True Indie, his memoir is coming out. So he's doing a book signing, and they're screening the movie. So I get to go see that tomorrow. So we're driving out there. Very excited because Phantasm is one of my favorite movies of all time.
You son of a bitch.
So that's really cool. So I'll have some embarrassing photographs of me freaking out next to Don Coscarelli, looking like, who the hell is this guy? Probably by tomorrow night. So keep an eye out.
We'll put them up on the Facebook page just for you.
I haven't been publicly humiliated in a while.
So I don't have any of my best video game picks readily available to show everybody, but my first one isn't I wouldn't call it a difficult game, but it was the first horror video game that I ever beat, and it's near and dear to my heart. And it's Jaws on the NES 8-bit.
Yes. I just beat it recently.
Wasn't that really hard? I know I played it.
The ending is hard.
Okay.
Hard. Jared, you helped me. You're the one who told me how the fuck to beat it on Facebook.
Yes.
Because I couldn't figure out how to do the stroke thing with where you have to like spear the shark at the end, like in Jaws 4.
Yep, because you don't want it to get it too close. It has to stay just a little bit out.
Yeah, it's really difficult, but it is a cool game. That was a really fun game. Someone saying that. Let me see. Someone said about Silent Hill.
I was gonna say we've gotten a lot of comments we could always catch up on.
Eternal Darkness is a fucking awesome game for GameCube. Do you have that, Ray?
Yeah, it's not. I couldn't find it. My video games are like mixed up between 3 or 4 totes downstairs. So I only found the Resident Evil stuff that was stashed with my GameCube. Actually, I found my GameCube too. But yeah, I've got that. And I've got I got a few good ones. Nightmare Creatures is one that I got. It's not GameCube, but it's one of my favorites.
Nightmare Creatures 2, featuring a soundtrack by Rob Zombie.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
Yeah, the Eternal Darkness, if you have it, keep a hold of it, man. That's worth like $100. That's a really rare game.
So, Jared, what else is in your picks?
A lot of mine are actually older ones, like the other one that really was a lot of fun was the original Doom on Windows 95.
Oh yeah,
that's a legendary game.
Doom, oh my god, it's one of the few games from that era that I go back on a regular basis and play through. Doom and Doom 2 and Final Doom. Those games changed my life. Oh, and I have Wolfenstein 3D. I have that boxed over there too. That was another one from id Software. It's not a horror quite, but man, those games. Oh, my heart.
I don't know. Wolfenstein kind of has a horror theme to it.
Well, the newer ones definitely. I mean, the expansion pack for the original had zombies in it. I mean,
right.
But yeah, the newer ones are full on horror pretty much. Which is fucking wonderful.
Yeah.
But what do you guys think about Silent Hill, particularly Silent Hill 2?
I'm a fan of Silent Hill 2. I didn't. Was that was on the PlayStation 2, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. I like 2. I think because they got kind of muddled after that. I think.
Yeah.
Like there was God, I can't remember. Like when they got to the next gen, is where I started kind of losing track of them because
Homecoming and
Homecoming is the one I'm thinking of.
Yeah, Homecoming, Origins, and fuck, the other one was called Shattered Memories was PS2 and the Wii.
What was the first one on the Xbox 360 or the PlayStation 3?
That was Homecoming.
Okay, that one I played too. I dug Silent Hill. The first one creeped me out. Like you're running around in like the fog, you know, basically, because the whole town is, and you can't get out of town because the roads are like, what are they like
they're destroyed? Yeah,
yeah,
full of Pennsylvania drivers going to the shore.
Yeah, pretty much. It's basically like roads in PA.
Yeah, I like Silent Hill, the first one and the second one for sure. The second one I think led me into playing Fatal Frame. Actually,
I never played those games. Are they good?
Brian, you played those, didn't you?
I never played. Wait, was Fatal Frame?
Fatal Frame.
No, but my wife played the shit out of them.
I love Fatal Frame.
Absolutely adores them.
Yeah, so you have to take pictures of the ghost with a camera, right, to track them.
And I tell you what, sometimes they got me, you know, and like freaked me out like crazy. I think Fatal Frame, there's 2 of them, and I enjoyed both of them. I think the first one was slightly better, but for the most part, I don't know. It's like when Jared, I think who wrote it? Was it Mike that brought up the idea of doing video games? The first thing always comes to mind it's horror related, but it's not scary. It would be Castlevania for me.
Oh fuck yeah, dude! Castlevania.
I'll be honest though. In 88, 89, my uncle, he got a NES, and we went to this gas station that rented NES games, and we rented Castlevania, and it was kind of spooky for me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the haunted castle, the Medusa heads, all that shit.
The music too.
Yeah, I love the music. I could listen to the music all day long, especially Symphony of the Night, which is my favorite of the whole series.
That's one of my favorite games ever. That game is
perfect. No, If you go, well, I don't know if it's on my, yeah, if you go to rageofrazor.com, my personal blog, I think it's number 3 on my all-time favorite game list, Symphony of the Night.
Yeah, that game is amazing. That soundtrack is. I listen to that soundtrack every day.
You know what was great about the soundtrack? It was on the fucking disc for the game.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, yeah, I love that game.
CD player, a la carte says you shouldn't be doing this or something. He's like, but
Yeah.
Way.
One of the best parts about that game is it's the end of Bloodlines, which is not Bloodlines at the very beginning of the game. And there's a conversation between Richter, Belmont, and Dracula.
Mm-hmm.
And the voice acting is so awful, but man, I was engrossing when I got it in 95, you know.
Yeah.
Mankind ill needs a savior as you, or something like that.
What is it, man?
Put it up, talk. Have at you. I love that game.
See,
that's probably tops of my list. That or Resident Evil 2. Jared, did you finish yours? What are your other two?
I did Doom Windows 95.
Okay, yeah.
Aliens, Colonial Marines.
Oh yeah.
oh my god.
Well, look at the time, guys. I have to go.
It's the worst game I've ever played, probably.
It's up there.
Alien Trilogy for PlayStation 1. That was the first PS1 game I ever played. That game scared the shit out of me.
What game?
Alien Trilogy. That was I
never saw that.
I think it was originally a Sega CD or Sega Saturn game, and they ported it. But it was a first-person shooter. You play through all the Alien movies. It's terrifying. And someone in the chat room just mentioned Clock Tower, which was the other thing I was going to bring.
Lonnie, get your ass away from there, Lonnie.
Clock Tower is one of the scariest games ever fucking made.
Yes.
Oh, Ryan, I feel like you played that. Didn't you play that one for us?
Clock Tower?
Well, maybe I'm wrong.
And I've talked about Clock Tower being strangely similar to Dario Argento's Phenomena.
That's what it was, yeah. We've discussed it before.
Yeah. No.
That entire game is just tense. You're all,
yeah.
I haven't played that in 20 years.
I still have it. It's really hard to find now. It's expensive, but if you can pick up a copy, it's totally worth it. That game is terrifying.
Yeah. I'm sure there's mods out there that you can buy.
No, I'm sure. Well, the third one's out for the PS2. Is pretty easy to find. It's kind of shit.
But didn't the series get really weird after the first one or the second one?
The second one is The Struggle Within. It doesn't make any sense. You're like a girl with a split personality, and you turn into like a giant demon guy and kill zombies. I just sold my copy for $100 on eBay, actually.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Damn.
It paid my car repair bill, or part of it. The third one was directed by the guy that directed Battle Royale. All the cinematics were, so it was really violent, but it gets weird towards the second half. It gets very Japanese, and not in a good way. But the first one, the original was for Super Nintendo, but it never came out in America. But the one for PlayStation 1 is like awesome. And then like games like Alien Isolation are pretty much just Clock Tower with a xenomorph. Amazing.
Oh man, Alien Isolation is a great game.
We just got a funny comment on Facebook. Clint Shriek says, "Not a horror game, but I have a copy of E.T. on Atari."
Oh,
That gameplay and control scheme is scary as hell.
Yeah, they have a bunch of those buried somewhere in Nevada, don't they?
Yeah, they buried them in the desert.
Yep, they buried like a couple million copies, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, we got someone said Zombies Ate My Neighbors.
Yeah.
Saunders, that's a fucking amazing game.
That is a great game. Super Soaker said it's best.
Someone said Maniac Mansion as well is another great point-and-click game for Nintendo.
I forgot about that one.
Did you ever play D? The game
Oh, yeah, I have that for PlayStation. The game's hard as shit.
Yeah.
Because it's in real time. You have to beat it in 2 hours. Have you ever played D2 for Dreamcast?
No. I didn't know they made a second one.
Yeah, it's really fucking cool. You're in a plane crash in, like, the Arctic or something, and then you have to go, like, there's a map with, like, 5 locations, but you can run around in third person, like, survival horror style. But when you encounter a monster, it goes into, like, a first-person shooter screen. It's basically like an RPG mixed with survival horror, and it's super whacked out, and people are mutating into, like, giant Resident Evil monsters, and it's really fucking weird. It has nothing to do with the first one, but it's really, really, really fucking cool, and everything bleeds green, which is really neat. And you can hunt for, like, meat. Like, you can shoot caribou and stuff. So it's like Oregon Trail. It's really fucking, it's a weird game. It's real good, though.
Yeah, man, I've never heard of that one.
Oh, echo.
Echo.
Someone's got echo.
I don't know. So Ray, you mentioned Nightmare Creatures
Yeah.
earlier. Have you ever beaten it?
The first one?
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't beat the second one. The second one was kind of hard, if I remember correctly. Yeah, I beat the first one.
One's like impossible.
No, it wasn't.
I beat it once. Because the end boss is like you're on top of a burning building. There's like a gargoyle shooting fire, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I beat that once when I was a kid. I beat the second one, but only because once you memorize the combos, there's like combo. Each creature is weak against one combo, and you can just keep button mashing that combo over and over again and basically cheat. That's the only way to win.
The only thing I didn't like about Nightmare, I liked the game quite a bit actually, but I had problems with it because it felt, I don't know if it felt like it to you, but it felt really repetitive to me.
Oh, it absolutely is. The controls.
I hated that, and that's my biggest complaint about it. But I like everything about it screamed something I would like, And my buddy introduced me to it because I was into Resident Evil, and that's the same time I played that D game we were just talking about, and yeah, I liked it, and I'm pretty sure I beat it because I remember feeling very satisfied after playing it or after beating it.
It's really hard. It's like you have to cut everything in half or it won't die, like the zombies and shit.
Yeah.
And but it's got a really twitchy control scheme. Like it's a third-person brawler, pretty much, and you're in like 1800s London.
Yeah, that's one of the things I liked about it. The setting was wonderful.
Yeah, well, it's all gothic and foggy, and then it said it's got this weird, desaturated kind of style to it. The color schemes are really creepy. And I remember it said, "Have a bloody good time in the streets of London." It was on the back, and I thought that was like
clever.
That reminds me of that new game that's supposed to be coming out that's set in like
the vampire game.
Yeah, Vampire.
Yeah.
Has that even come out yet?
Yeah, it's out on the PlayStation Store. It looks just like Mafia 3, but with vampires. It's by the same company, I believe.
Yeah, it came out in June, looks like.
Yeah.
I haven't heard anybody talk about it.
That one's not the one that's first person, is it?
No, it's third person. It's kind of like, it's open. It kind of looks like Bloodborne, but it plays a lot like Mafia 3. Except you're not driving cars.
I haven't heard anybody talk about it. Steam gives it a 7 out of 10.
Yeah, I wanted to play it, but I haven't heard much about it either.
That Bloodborne game, my roommate had it. It seemed kind of cool, but he thought it was too hard because he's
game is fucking miserable.
It looks like Nightmare Creatures, like the style of it.
Except you're not driving cars. Yeah, we got an echo here.
That was me. Sorry.
What about Nightmare on Elm Street on NES?
I love that game. Actually, I do. That and Friday the 13th, I used to play the shit out of back in the day.
Yeah, I have them downstairs, still boxed.
Yeah, I have my Friday the 13th. It's right next to Metal Gear Solid over there.
I lost mine somewhere down
Metal Gear.
So which one was harder to you guys? Which one's harder?
Nightmare on Elm Street.
I don't know. Nightmare on Elm Street is incredibly hard. I've never beaten it. I've gotten close, but Friday the 13th it's just designed so badly that it's impossible.
Yeah, once you enter the cabin or you find a cabin to enter, it's like pulling teeth.
Talk about repetitive games.
Yeah, well, just fighting Jason is pointless. You just die. Although I will say that game was super ahead of its time. Like it was basically an open world Nintendo game kind of. Like,
yeah, it was. No, it absolutely was. I agree with that.
Definitely ahead of its time. It just wasn't. And someone mentioned earlier in the comments LGN games, which is what that was. They were like the tie-in games.
Those were terrible.
But I don't know. It didn't make any sense. Like if you could get into the cave and find Jason's mom's head and then get the machete, you can kill Jason. But that's pretty much the only way to beat the game. You just kill Jason and then it just stops.
Has anybody ever heard of the Angry Video Game Nerd?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he does. He did the Friday the 13th and then the Nightmare on Elm Street reviews. They were pretty funny. He actually did a great 3-part series of Castlevania games. Also,
was he the guy that did a YouTube video on how to beat Friday the 13th in like 25 minutes?
No, that was Lord Chaos.
I saw that. I was so pissed because I spent 20 years trying to beat that.
Yeah, me too.
Hey, man,
missing, you go to the into the woods. There's like the key to the cabin and the note about the fireplace. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna light all the fireplaces, and like none of it matters.
Hey, don't worry, Mike. Don't worry, Mike, because it took me 15 years to beat Broken Sword. All right, now that was a fucking ridiculous game, and the hardest part about that game was me trying to pass the Billy Goat. It was a point and click, and I didn't know you had to point and click quick enough to run by the Billy Goat. Anyway, I became an adult, played it again, and I got past it, and I wanted to fucking smash my head into a wall.
When did you become an adult?
What?
Have you ever played
When did you become an adult?
Have you ever played Abadox for Nintendo?
I've not.
It's a game from, I think it was Milton Bradley. You're like an astronaut and you're on a flesh planet, and you have to fucking fight like. Look it up. It's a side-scrolling shooter. It's really fucking gross. Like the ground is made of like diseased flesh, and you go inside of this creature is the size of a planet. You go into its mouth, and then like all the levels are like in its intestines and its bloodstream, and everything is like gross tentacles and arms made of skin coming out of the walls and shit. It's really fucking nasty. And you fight big eyeballs and tongues and stuff.
Since you're here and you play a lot of crazy video games, I've run a lot of video games. What the actual hell?
What happened?
Okay.
Hello.
Hello. Are we still on Facebook? Can you guys? Are we still on Facebook Live?
I see your cursor.
Yeah, it's
going.
on there.
We're still on Facebook Live?
Looks like it.
Oh no,
Okay.
Brian! I see your.
I see your mouse moving around.
Okay. It was really weird. I just got logged out and logged back in on Facebook. So, all right. We'll continue.
We're back.
We're still here. All right. So there's this game that came out for the Super Nintendo, and you're this boy, and you start in the bottom of the ocean. You have to keep swimming up, and you swim up, and then you finally get to the top of the ocean, and then you're just like slouched, and you're walking around, and there's these little slugs. It's like a side scroller, and if the slug touches you, it goes into like a cutscene, and the slug bites your leg, and then you just fall over and die. And apparently that's like the game. Like if you get hit by any monsters, it gives you like a cutscene, and it shows you dying.
What the fuck?
What game is that?
I don't know. I don't know. But it's been forever since I played it, and
That doesn't ring a bell.
I'll be right back. I'm gonna go grab some games.
That's
Okay.
definitely not Adam's Family's Fester's Quest, if I remember.
No, no.
That was a fun game.
It was.
Well, one of my favorite horror games, like more recently, came out in 2007. It's a little game based on the comic book series, and it's called The Darkness, which Mike Patton, the singer from Faith No More, was the voice of the Darkness. And in this game, you played a hitman on his 21st birthday. He gets betrayed by his mob family, his uncle. He's a mafia dealer, a crime boss, and you have a girlfriend, and a tragedy happens in the game, but you become you get consumed by the darkness, and it's like your birthright. And the more you play the game, the more you level up the darkness, and you like spawn like these minions, and they help you on your quest to get revenge against your uncle and the mafia. It was a really fun game. Definitely heavy metal. He spent a lot of time in the New York subway system, but it's just an overall fun game.
Did you ever play a game called Darksiders?
Darksiders, never played Darksiders.
You play as the first one. You play as War, one of the four horsemen, and you feed stuff. And then there's Darksiders 2. You play as Death. They're not really horror games, but you fight through hell and shit like that. So
it reminds me of God of War.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it plays just like God of War. There's also Dante's Inferno, which is absolutely a horror game. I don't know if you guys played that.
I played it.
I liked it a lot. I don't know.
Definitely.
I have one for the PS3 that I beat. It wasn't really rated very well, but it was very intriguing idea. It's Murdered Soul Suspect.
I heard about that game. I never played it.
And you're a cop that gets killed, and basically you try to solve your own murder.
Weird.
And
that's pretty cool.
You can walk through walls, and there's like the demons from hell are trying to drag you through hell, so you have to stay away from them. And you pick up clues and shit.
Yeah,
I liked it a lot. It wasn't very hard, but it was a very intriguing.
Like a fun game, honestly.
You could probably find it for pretty cheap on the store.
What do you have there?
This is Abadox for NES.
Okay.
So I don't know if you guys can see the screenshots. This game is like really fucking gross. It's like body horror, but it's incredibly hard. And then hopefully someone out there knows about Monster Party.
Yeah, I remember that.
Best fucking game ever. Weirdest game ever. Super bizarre. And then this is one of Capcom's original games, Legendary Wings. You guys ever play this?
Yeah, I remember that.
No.
Yeah, this game you also get sucked into a giant mouth and you have to like fight through like an intestinal tract with like wasps in it. It's really fucking gross.
Turn over the cover again. That guy looks like
Basically, you get like mechanical Icarus wings. It's like the future where a computer AI has taken over the world, but it was built originally to give world peace, so all the weapons are stashed in like one stockpile, and then it takes over the world, so you get like these mechanical wings, and the whole point is that you get into the stockpile, and then you have to save humanity, so you have to like fight all these weird creatures and stuff. It's really weird. I beat it once. It was super hard.
There was this game for Nintendo called like Mariam's Castle or something like that. Mariam's Castle, and you were like this you were this knight, or like some type of wizard or something like that, and you start off in the castle. It's like Mario, but the castle is like massive, and if you stay outside too long, it turns into night, and then these giant demons come out and fight you. Like if you're just kind of like, you know, loitering around outside. And then when you get inside, it doesn't really tell you where you need to go, but you have to like keep opening up these doors and keep unlocking these keys. I forget the name of the game. It's like Mariam's Castle or something like that.
I've heard of that.
It was like
I don't recognize that.
it was like really like it was really like kind of fucking head trippy, but it was kind of a hard game.
Castle of Illusions, are you?
What?
Mickey's Castles of Illusion?
Is it Mickey's Castles of
Well,
Illusion?
it's a Disney game. He plays Mickey Mouse.
Oh god, no! It wasn't Mickey's Castle. No. This was like this was something else. It was not Disney, but it was fun. From what I remember, I mean, it wasn't Ghosts and Goblins, but I mean, it was fun.
Possible.
Ghosts and Goblins.
I always played Ghouls and Ghosts, the Sega Genesis version.
Mhm.
But it is. I used to watch Nick Arcade all the time, and they would always pick. I always pray the kids would pick Ghouls and Ghosts to play, and they always sucked at it so bad. And I'm like, no, you idiot! Get the suit of armor. Get the. I'm like yelling at the screen.
Yeah, that game was rough. I mean, if you get hit, you lose all your armor and you're naked. You get hit again, you're dead. So,
Well, they if you beat that game, like, you get all the way to the end and fight the end boss, and then you're to save the princess, you go, whoop, she's not here. Better go back, and you have to go through the whole game backwards then.
really?
Because it was made to suck quarters in the arcade. Like, it's impossible.
Damn, I thought that was Gauntlet, but fuck it, it's this game.
Gauntlet was another great fucking game, though.
Yeah, Gauntlet was great. You're absolutely right. You know, a game was great too. It was not much of a horror game, but I was absolutely insanely obsessed with it. Siphon Filter 2.
Oh my god.
It was so good.
Probably my favorite game for the longest time. I love the first Siphon Filter. Don't
The
get me
first
wrong.
one is great.
First
Yes.
one's great, and
They set on fire and die.
I remember the cheat codes because you had to tongue punch the select button in order to get the cheat codes to work. But the second game didn't have a lot of cheat codes for it. You can unlock like a hard difficulty. If you had Game Shark, you had cheat codes. But now I use Game Shark. Fuck it. You know, and the Siphon Filter 2 was a 2-disc game. Not much of a horror, except there is a virus, and it's slowly eating people from the inside.
Yeah, it's not a horror game, but it's fun as fuck.
Oh my god, best game back in the day for me. It's a shame that like it was overshadowed by Metal Gear Solid, even though Metal Gear Solid was.
Metal Gear Solid is pretty excellent. I remember the original Metal Gear for Nintendo was really funny.
Yeah, I have that, and I have Metal Gear 2 Solid Snake. That one, it's like the first Metal Gear, but it's a little more playable. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But they're fun games.
What about Blood? You guys ever played Blood for the PC? First-person shooter?
No.
Oh my god, that's also on GOG.com, GOG. Blood is the best first-person shooter ever made. It was a build engine game, but it's all gothic, and it's the most violent shooter ever. It's got lines from Army of Darkness, like you wake up in a grave and he goes, "I live again," from like Evil Ash, and it's just this really whacked out shooter where you're like fighting an evil cult, and there's just tons of gore and horror references. Like every level has got tons of horror references. I think you guys would love it. It's like $3 on GOG.
That's fine.
Yeah, I'll have to check it out. I did see videos for it. It looked like a gothic Duke Nukem. Isn't that the one where you have like a pitchfork and you stab like? And
you have a voodoo doll, hairspray with a lighter that you spray as a flamethrower.
Oh, that's badass.
It's such a fucking cool game. It's one of my favorite games. It's probably my second favorite game of all time.
I'm not as big as I wasn't big into PC games growing up because I didn't have a computer a lot, growing up. But I remember I brought up Phantasmagoria. That game was crazy.
Oh yeah.
Beast Within.
Yeah, Beast Within. Check this out.
And there was another one called Shivers that was kind of crazy.
Shivers.
Yeah. Here you go.
Shivers 2.
Shivers.
There we go.
Shivers. And check this out. The Beast Within. I actually shot a commercial with Jane Jensen, who wrote and directed this game.
Wow.
Oh, fuck.
Look at that.
That is beautiful.
Oh, is that by Sierra?
Yep.
Yeah.
They both are. This is another FMV game. It's one of my favorite games. I love it.
Got it. Here's the here's Metal Gear with Michael Biehn on the front cover.
Michael Biehn in Aliens attire.
And there's Snake's Revenge. That's the one where you actually fight Big Boss. It's not so much the first one.
Yeah, the first one's weird. I've seen video shots of the first one.
Mm-hmm. Like they in Snake's Revenge they go into Gray Fox, where you're working with Gray Fox and of course Master Miller, and then there's Big Boss. Like they the reason why Metal Gear Solid touched so much on that story is because Snake's Revenge I believe was like I think it was like originally like a Japanese import. I don't think it really hit American release. So I think like the only way to get it was like a Japanese import, but you can get it with like American subtitles and English subtitles. Sorry.
Yeah.
A little wrong of me to say.
Right. Someone said Million's Secret Castle is what you were thinking of earlier.
Yeah. Uncle Stalensi.
All right. So who said
Hopefully I didn't butcher your last name, dude.
Yeah, Million's Secret Castle. That game was friggin' impossible to figure out, but
I've never even heard of that.
There's YouTube videos on how to play it and beat it. But not for 5-year-old Brian to figure it out.
You guys ever play this? Clive Barker's Undying?
I had not played any Clive Barker game. I heard that the
game is great. It's on GOG. Again, go to I'm not getting paid by GOG, I swear. G.com. It's good old games. They have every retro PC game like ever, and they update them all for new computers, and they're like $5. They've got the Phantasmagoria games, they've got Harvester, they've got Doom, they've got everything. Duke Nukem. I fucking adore it. It's so much fun to go back and play this stuff.
I'll have to go check it out. Have you played any of the Call of Cthulhu games?
Oh yeah, big time. Dark Corners of the Earth is amazing.
Yeah.
They also took the opening out of Dagon, the movie.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, when he's in the hotel and he's trying to screw the little the slide lock onto the door so they can't get in. They make that a playable segment. It's terrifying.
Oh man, dude. All right. So got Dagon because I heard you talk good things about it.
Mm-hmm.
Vestron Collection. Actually, I price matched it because it was I think it was on like one of the Amazon sites for like $5 cheaper. So I got this for like $24, which was a pretty good price, especially with all the special features that are on it. I can't wait to watch it. But those who do not know what Dagon is, it's a Stuart Gordon directed film. It was shot in Spain, I believe, with a Spanish crew. And it's produced by Brian Usna. It's another H.P. Lovecraft movie, which they did a lot of, especially with like Reanimator, Bride of Reanimator, and they got the main character who looks just like Jeffrey Combs, but younger, and it's pretty much like it's a Cthulhu movie. Like I never really understood. Like I don't want to ruin it for everybody, but did they kind of like mesh Dagon and Cthulhu together?
Yeah, well they took the story Dagon, the original Lovecraft story, is only like 3 pages long. They took Dagon and they mixed it. The movie Dagon is pretty much The Shadow over Innsmouth, which is one of Lovecraft's longer stories, and it's probably his best. And they combined the two of those. Cthulhu isn't. I mean, they show Dagon in the movie, and he's very Cthulhu-esque. I wish they wouldn't have showed him because the CG is really bad.
Mm-hmm.
Without getting too much into it, but it's if you go back and read The Shadow over Innsmouth by H.P. Lovecraft, that's pretty much the movie Dagon.
Gaia. So it's not Cthulhu. It's okay because they mention him the entire movie.
Well, because Cthulhu is the leader of the great old ones. Like there's a whole mythos, the Cthulhu mythos with Lovecraft stuff, and Dagon is one of the many gods and all that stuff.
You know, for Dagon being a god, he definitely got it in a lot of times in the movie.
Well, I mean, you look at the old Greek mythology, that's what they were all about too.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Anywhere they could.
The ending had me surprised. You think things are gonna turn out well, and boom, Dagon gets it in. So good for Dagon. But the movie, what I really loved about this movie is the fact that, well, first off, the original front cover fucking threw me off. I was like, this movie looks like garbage. I don't know.
Terrible.
And it wasn't until like I saw the trailer, and then I saw of course the Vestron Collection 1080p trailer that they're advertising during the release of this. And I've always known about Dagon, but it wasn't until I watched the trailer again. I'm like, this looks just like Resident Evil 4, and with like the villagers being like possessed. And it's like Resident Evil 4. I kind of think I know where you got your story from, but whatever. And then you watch it, and the entire movie, like it's 2 hours long, I believe. It's it's 98 minutes, but like a good portion of the movie is Paul, the main character, trying to survive. It's just him surviving villagers. There's like no dialogue. It's just him running, surviving, fighting back, and it's like the fight scenes are very realistic. It's not like anyone's got like a powerful uppercut or anything like that. It's just survival. It's a survival horror. Kind of reminds me of kind of like the what was the game? Outlast 2.
Yes.
A little bit with
okay.
That game could have been excellent, but it was so muddled.
I have the trilogy on the PS4. I have yet to dive into it.
The first Outlast and Outlast Whistleblower the Whistleblower is probably better than the original game. Mm-hmm. It's fucking phenomenal. Outlast 2 has beautiful visuals, but the story is so dumb and the mechanics are really shitty that it kind of ruins it. But it's got some really fucked up stuff in it. It's good.
Yeah. I didn't care for the side story, which kind of like wrapped everything up in Outlast 2, where like he was a kid and he watched his best friend like get sexually molested and murdered. Like that was whatever.
No goddamn, that was clearly a different game they were developing, and they just shoehorned it in.
Yeah, definitely, and it read that. But I love the whole idea of like the apocalypse is coming. And like his wife was giving birth to like the Antichrist and everything like that, and then the apocalypse happens. Like I really enjoyed it. I love apocalyptic like satanic video games. Where the first one was like more like as a
human experimentation and shit, and like
yeah,
a lot of dong in those games too. A whole lot of dong.
Oh, everyone hangs dong. Like every time you meet a dude, he hangs dong.
There's like these two characters in the first one. They're just these two asylum inmates that just have their dicks hanging out. And talk about how they're gonna cut your stomach open and rape the hole.
Yeah.
And then when you play Whistleblower, there's one of the guys you have to face off against is named the Groom, and he is trying to find the perfect woman, but he's in an asylum that only has men, so he makes the perfect woman. It is so fucked up.
Yeah, but that
got through, but Manhunt 2 got an AO rating.
Yeah, Manhunt 2. But I actually like I do appreciate the survival games, and one of the movies that I really enjoyed, and thank you so much, Mike, for bringing it to my attention. If you are out there and you are at a film festival and you see the title Live Scream come up, please go check it out. It's if you're into horror video games, and of course like horror movies where they what's the name of that one movie that they did on the computer, Unfriended or something like that. It's not like Unfriended, but it's kind of along those lines where our lead character is playing a video game and people are watching him play. And I won't ruin the movie for you, but if you like video games where it's a survival horror and you don't have many weapons to your arsenal, such as Alien Isolation, and you love horror movies, go check out Live Stream, which is directed by Michelle Antoine, which I fucking memorized that last name.
I did too.
After 10 minutes of repeating it. She's a great person, great director, and
she's a friend of the Horror Syndicate. Yeah.
We're actually playing Live Stream at the Lancaster Film Festival in November, November 9th. I'm hosting the Horror Night. I know that the fest director was on the chat earlier plugging that. But we will be playing Live Stream as our special event after all the shorts play. I'm very excited. I fucking love Live Stream. It's the best thing I've seen all year on the circuit. I love it.
Yeah, no, it's fun. It's just a fun horror movie. And when we had her on, when we had Michelle on to do the interview, she talked about how she spent a lot of time working with the Unreal Engine, and seeing a director go into a like software video game creation program, and then combining it into a movie just worked really well. And if I can't believe that you have movies like Unfriended that are like out there for the public, and you watch Unfriended and you watch Live Stream, you're just you see like a night and day difference of a movie that is done really
for sure.
Yeah. But I mean, Unfriended was cool. Like as like oh my god, yeah, for what it was. Like, oh wow, they got all these people to go on Skype, and they you tell they put a lot of work into it. But Michelle put a lot of work into making the game and making the movie and combining the two. So if you are checking out, just like Mike said, if you're going to any film festivals where the movie is playing, go check it out. And of course, shamelessly, let's plug Mike. For I'm Dreaming of a White Doomsday, which is doing pretty well. I mean, if you're in the Lancaster area, hey, what's up? Go to FYE and pre-order your copy.
Absolutely. And there's some more big news about that coming up soon, but I can't say it yet. But on the topic of Live Stream, though, it's also playing at Nightmares Film Festival in Columbus, Ohio at the end of the month, I believe. And Michelle was just nominated for Best Feature and I believe Best Female Director at Nightmares, which is super cool because that movie absolutely fucking deserves all those awards. And Michelle is a great director.
Yeah, no, it definitely is definitely a movie to check out. I love talking about video games. What do we have on Facebook Land? We have anyone commenting about their favorite video games? Those who are watching right now, what is your favorite horror video game? Or if you have not played any horror video games and you want to get into it, what are some of the horror video games that we can recommend to you as a first-time player of the horror video game genre? And or
Keith Saunders asked if we played the Saw games. Me and my roommate did. It took him a year and a half to beat them. It was a running bet between us where I bought it for him as a joke, and then said you have to finish it now or you're a bad friend. That game, I broke a controller as I threw it against the wall. I was so
nice.
It's the worst designed piece of shit game I've ever played in my life. And the second one, it's just a giant mess of instant kill traps and stuff that you would never be able to see. Like, you just have to memorize the levels so you know where. It's like walking through a minefield. Well, actually, literally, I believe there is mines and parts of it. But it's such a badly made game. It's a puzzle game, but if you fuck a puzzle up, you die. And I have to start all the way back. It's just awful.
So it's basically like an unplayable Heavy Rain.
I never played Heavy Rain, but they're bad. Clint Schrank says that he played them and liked them. So I guess that we have some fans of Saw and Saw 2. Did you beat them, Clint? I don't know. I would have to beat this to do it.
I know Clint, and I'm pretty sure he probably beat them.
That's impressive.
He's a gamer.
That's pretty impressive.
I've never played them, and I gave Keith a sad emoji because I have never played them.
Have you guys ever played Covered Ops Nuclear Dawn for the PlayStation?
I've heard of it.
It's basically Under Siege 2, you know, the movie Steven Seagal on the train.
The first movie I saw boobs in.
Yeah, well, anyway, it's Under Siege 2 meets Resident Evil. Resident Evil with the fixed camera angles, not the zombies. If you're into like action espionage games, please don't play it. If you like puzzle games, please play it. It's a difficult game, and the fixed camera angles and the gun shootouts just don't work for it, but it's very rewarding.
Clint Shrink said he did beat them.
That's all power to you, man. I mean, my
dedication.
them, but I could not.
Keith Saunders says I don't know if he said it would say it's a horror game, but he likes the BioShock.
Oh well, okay. the original games in that series, Creature Shock, they were horror games, and System Shock 2 especially. Those were old PC games. I never liked BioShock though. I like the retro style of it. I just don't
steampunky style.
I just couldn't get into the games themselves.
I know you're too busy playing Vampire Rain.
I was too busy playing what was I playing at that time? Probably Countdown Vampires for PlayStation 1. Or Dead Rising. Let's talk about Dead Rising. Those games.
Those are fun.
I mean, the first one's awesome. The second one is fun. Then the third and fourth are kind of mad. Even though the fourth one's the Christmas theme.
Yeah, I couldn't get into the Dead Rising games. I think it was that you have to keep playing it over and over and over again to actually enjoy it.
Yeah, they're not user friendly at all. Like I'm masochist, and I love those games so much.
But I did like the Blood Rain games. I didn't play
Blood Rain.
I didn't beat Blood Rain 2, but I beat Blood Rain.
I beat the first one.
Yeah, killing Nazis as a vampire was pretty fucking awesome. Go ahead, Mike.
When you could jump on their backs and like use them as a human shield and the blood while you shoot over their shoulder.
Yeah,
it was so gory. The second one was garbage, though. I hated it.
I heard it was good. I heard it was like about vampires taking over the planet or something like that.
Every room, every scene, you just go into a room, and then a bunch of guys that are shirtless with mohawks come in, and then a giant like meat grinder opens in the floor, and you have to use a little knife on a chain to like whip them into the meat grinder. Then when you get like 12 of them, a door would open. Every single fucking room was that. I'm like, oh my god, I'm so tired of this.
See, man, I'm pretty sure Anne Rice would be rolling over in her grave right now.
I'm pretty sure she's alive.
Yep. Sure, she sleeps in a coffin.
Well, yeah, probably.
Can you imagine how boring it would be if they made an interview of the vampire game? I'm kidding. It would probably be a lot of fun watching Tom Cruise prance around.
Tom Cruise and Brad Pitt sitting down for tea.
Yeah, that was a sexy vampire movie. Don't get me wrong. It was a very sexy vampire movie. I'm mostly saying that because of Christian Slater, because I'm a huge fan of Christian Slater. He's got like the Nicolas Cage effect. As he gets older, the more crazier he looks, and it's definitely something up my alley. I would have loved to play, some type of vampire game that was, especially now, kind of disappointing to see the new vampire game that was, I think it was made by Take-Two, the same company that made Mafia 3. I wanted to play it. I wanted to get into it, but it just from all the reviews that I'm reading, it's just like it's okay. It's bland because I love third person vampire games. Like they're so much fun to play. I
looked it up earlier. Steam gave it a 7. IGN gave it a 7. I mean, is 7 a good score these days? I don't know.
7's pretty decent. I mean, it could be a 3, which is pretty bad.
I'd say like 4.5 on a good day.
What are you?
We're talking about wiener sizes, Lex.
Unless it's Vampire's Reign. Vampire's Reign got a 1 out of 10 on IGN.
It's not like an old PS1 game. Something.
Yeah. Oh, what about Blood Omen, Legacy of Kain?
Oh shit!
That was one vampire game.
Shit!
Is that the one where you can suck their blood from like 10 feet away?
You suck their souls.
Oh, okay.
No, strength.
Yeah,
I like that It shirt.
I remember I had a PlayStation demo disc, and it had Legacy. Oh, go ahead, Lex.
Sorry, no, I just said it was from Cavity Colors because Jared said that. Michael, stop doing that.
My shirt's from Cavity Colors too.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I didn't know they did that. That's cool.
I told you, Mike. Cavity Colors. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right. You were saying that.
I said that Scream Team had a movie called Dude Bro Party Massacre, and that they did that movie so they could get.
Damn, Mike's getting school on live.
And Ray
streaming
still
right
can't believe that I bought it.
now. I kind of want that shirt too now. That was a
I
fun
really
movie.
got to see that movie. Everyone keeps saying how fucking great it is. It looks funny. I just watched the trailer.
It's not great. It's not great. It's not. It's literally not great. I please.
It's not great in a great way.
No, it's not great anyway. It's just funny.
Well, it's supposed to be funny though, right?
Right. It's
Yeah.
funny and stupid. I don't think I could ever say it's great.
It
I
gets
guess.
carried away, right, Ray? It gets carried away.
It's out of control.
The last 20 minutes, it gets way carried away.
Mm.
They put a guy in a box,
Yep.
and he's
What is
he's
it?
got a-
I got a beef.
He's got a beef.
I got a beef, man.
Yeah.
It's really
I
fucking
can't
weird.
get out of the box until I beef.
Larry King's in it.
Yeah, Larry King makes a cameo.
Yeah, Patton Oswalt's in it. I still want to know how they got Larry King.
Well, he's not doing much nowadays. I mean,
Well, I
his
think this
show's over.
was filmed 3 or 4 years ago. Also,
Oh yeah.
Go start yelling when we get
when he
Yeah,
was
no.
agile.
Mm-hmm.
John Francis Daly has a cameo in it. The kid from Freaks and Geeks, and I think he was on Bone. So,
Also, the guy from The Room is in it.
oh yeah,
No?
Mark from The Room was in it.
Oh, Greg.
Yeah.
Greg Suspiro or something like that.
Right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
whatever.
you know he's also in Retro Puppet Master. That was one of the first starring roles.
Oh hi, Mark.
Yeah. Yeah. I still got to see Puppet Master Littlest Reich.
Dude, so I almost bought that. It's at Walmart now. I almost bought it like 4 times. Everyone keeps saying it's like batshit crazy, but then other people said it's like garbage. And Full Moon nowadays is garbage, so I don't trust it.
Yeah,
But
I passed it up too. I was gonna buy it the other day, but then I was like, I got all the other ones. But
I didn't realize it was out. Shit, they were just filming it like 6 months ago.
Yeah.
Isn't Tom Lennon the top
Yeah.
build?
he's in it.
Is he in it a lot, or is he just top build?
I asked Chuck. He watched it. I don't know.
I'll definitely snoop around. I'll probably rent it on Voodoo, because just like Mike was saying, there's, you know what? No, I'll probably just buy it. I'm a collector.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna end up buying it too. I'm still missing maybe one Puppet Master movie. Other than that,
Which one?
I don't fucking know.
Probably one of the Axis ones, because those were
Yeah, let me
the 3
see,
newest ones.
Which Puppet Master is the movie where like the couple is laying in bed and the guy rolls off the bed and the spouse looks over and is like, "Are you okay?" And then like the puppets are like stabbing him.
That could be like
Sounds
4 of them.
all of them, yeah.
I
That
swear
could-
I swear that Roseanne Barr was in one of them, or I could be wrong.
I don't think
Yeah.
that was.
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay, it might have just been.
I'm missing. So I'm missing The Legacy and Axis of Evil.
Yeah.
I don't even know those 2 exist.
Yeah, no, the last ones I got were 5, 6, and 7. Axis of Evil and Legacy are 8 and 9, which I have in this collection, but I need the single editions because that's how I do it.
Did you see the Big Puppet Master 2 launch chest? That's the Blu-rays. I saw it at FYE. It looks
We
really.
saw that at Horror Hound. That looked cool.
So you're talking about the set with the box, the puppet box?
Yeah, like it's
Yeah.
huge
Yeah,
box.
that was awesome. I think I told Jared multiple times I wanted to buy that.
It's like $250 or
That's
something.
Yeah.
expensive, and it's not worth it, but it's cool.
I don't need a box like that. I mean, it's bad enough I have the Blind Dead box set, and it just sits there.
Hey, those are good movies.
I know, but it doesn't like that's why I don't like buying steel books that have no spine.
Oh,
Like,
because
that
they
is-
don't fit on the shelf,
they
right?
don't fit on the shelf. So it's
Yeah.
like, do I leave that there and then put the movies somewhere?
I'm with you, Ray. It drives me crazy. Like I love novelty packaging, but it's hard for me sometimes.
Yeah.
But what's that?
Speaking of which, Zabby is having a big sale on Steelbook horror movies for the month of Halloween.
Who is?
Zavi,
Zabby.
British company.
Hmm.
They specialize in steel booklets, steel Blu-ray booklets.
Jared,
A lot-
did you get the Blind Dead set?
No, that's the Universal Monsters coffin set. That's out of print.
They have a Best Buy has of course every year they have the Universal Monsters coming back on Blu-ray. They have their edition. It just went up on in stores. It has all of the movies and all of the Spanish versions of the movies, which I keep hearing from Jared and Ray that the Spanish version of Dracula is the best.
It's filmed better, and it's a little bit
It's
different.
like 40 minutes longer too.
Yeah, it's good.
Is it necessarily long, or is it just long?
Yeah, there's reason for it.
Okay. Yeah, I'll have to check it out. You know, I've like when I read Bram Stoker's Dracula, like my favorite character will always be Renfield.
Yeah.
Just because he's just an interesting character, because it's like you see the normality of someone trying to do their job, and then he just becomes like a public, or like, you know, not like public servant, but like a servant to, like, you know, a dark lord. And one of the best one of the best Renfields that I've seen would have to come from Coppola's Dracula was Tom Waits as Renfield.
Sure.
I wanted to see more of that. Like, that's like Tom Waits. Tom Waits. That's like Tom Waits off the Bad As Me album. And
it's amazing.
Yeah,
I love his music, man. He's awesome.
And I don't know if you guys have ever seen Seven Psychopaths. Tom Waits is in that, and he's fucking flawless. He was also really good in it was a Terry Gilliam movie with Robin Williams, where he loses his wife.
The Fisher King?
The Fisher King.
Oh,
yeah. No. Oh, man. Yeah, Tom Waits was amazing in that movie. But yeah, no, he was the best Renfield that I've seen. Even though Peter McNichols from Dracula Dead and Loving It was a really...
Yes, he was a great fucking Renfield. He also plays the same character in Ghostbusters too. I love like when he gets zapped from the painting and he goes, "Woo!" I die every time I see that. It's so fun.
Upper West Side.
He wasn't even like Ally McBeal.
Why am I covered in all this goo?
I love you, man.
But Dracula,
best Renfield. Come on.
Yeah, Dracula Dead and Loving It it gets better with age. It really does. Like when it first came out, I think it got pretty bad reviews when it first came out.
But it's so fucking funny. It's so good.
Yeah,
it's so much better than Young Frankenstein.
Let me. While we're on Dracula Dead and Loving It, so I want to touch on the brackets for a second. We got messaged why we're doing monsters versus monsters. Why I use the Pennywise from 2017 versus the 1990, and I don't know why it matters. It's just Pennywise, right? So I use the Bela Lugosi Dracula for the first round for Dracula, right? My brother-in-law suggested, because I'm going to change the Draculas up, he suggested I use Leslie Nielsen from Dracula Dead and Loving It. They're probably going to lose their mind doing it. Fuck it. It's Dracula's Dracula. Regardless of who plays Dracula, it's still Dracula.
Yeah, exactly.
You need to do it.
Played Dracula, so it counts. Just like, you know, the 90 version of it versus or Pennywise versus this 2017. Who cares? It's fucking Pennywise. Just choose Pennywise if you want Pennywise. So yeah, I'm using. So next week, whenever Dracula won, I'm gonna. It's probably if that makes Dracula lose, I'm gonna be pissed because that means nobody has a sense of humor.
That's the best part of Dead and Loving It is when Mel Brooks is playing he's the vampire hunter.
Oh man,
they're like, what? He's talking about the woman getting bit, and it's like, if we don't do this, she will become one of them. And they're like, but what was that? He goes, they will become one of them. He just keeps saying it louder and louder. It's so fucking funny.
He was the best as Van Helsing, especially when they're killing.
The last movie he directed.
Was it it's the Nina isn't the main person, right? Or is she the main person? There's Mina, and then there was who was the best friend.
I can't remember.
It's been so long since I've been Dracula. But that whole scene when they're killing her and they're stabbing a stake through her heart, and there's just so much blood popping up. That's definitely my favorite part of the movie. Speaking of which,
the friend is played by Vitamin C, right?
I'm actually looking at it right now.
Are you talking about Dracula 2000?
Yeah, that movie's
Yeah,
awesome.
that's Vitamin C. Lucy or whatever.
Lucy is Mina's friend.
Yeah, that's Vitamin C.
Lucy. That's who it is. When Lucy's getting stabbed.
Yeah.
And Amy Yazbek plays Mina in that. And she played Maid Marian.
And Men in Tights, one of the funniest movies I've ever read.
Yeah.
Amy Yazbek was also in House 2.
And
Really?
Problem Child.
Oh my God, Problem Child.
Wow, yeah.
I love Problem Child. Actually, I'm afraid to watch them now. I've never come across them on DVD, and I think there's a reason for that.
Yeah, they're out of print.
Oh, I was going to say, I thought it was the universe telling me not to revisit, cherish my memories of them.
Hey,
yeah,
no.
so Dracula Dead and Loving It was Mel Brooks' last directorial film.
Oh, man.
Gosh, he's probably got to be like 90 years old now.
He's up there.
Let's do it. He produced the Fly remake. A lot of people don't realize that.
Oh, what with Jeff Goldblum?
Yeah, the Cronenberg movie. Yeah, he's also the one who came up with the tagline "Be afraid, be very afraid."
Yeah, that's awesome that Mel Brooks is such a huge horror sci-fi fan.
The Elephant Man as well with David Lynch. He produced that as well.
Yeah, no, and he was the backbone of that entire production. He's
Miguel Lamborghini with the knowledge bombs.
Yeah, I went silent after you said that.
I know.
I was trying to remember. I was like, that was I remember I was just watching a Lucio Fettuccine movie.
Oh God,
92.
Dario Asiago.
It's been a while since we've ran that up.
It's been a while. Speaking of which, I didn't talk to you guys about NJ HorrorCon. It was a lot of fun. You can watch all the live videos here. I'm gonna have all the interviews. So if you were in an interview with me or Jenny, and you were there during a weekend and you don't want to watch all the way through our live, because I will admit this was the first time that we had a live stream set up at a convention. It was kind of running into everything head first, but landing on our feet, if that makes any sense. And we had a lot of technical issues, but we had a lot of great interviews. So if you were featured in an interview with Jenny or myself, I will have these separate interviews up on YouTube, and they will have Twitter handles. If I do not know your Twitter handles, please, please message me. Right, I'll message you if I can find you and ask for your Twitter handles. So that way, you can go on YouTube and find your interview with myself or Jenny from the Horror Syndicate, and we'll share those separate interviews to your page. So I know we had a few fan favorites. We had Father Evil join us in. He's got a few interviews with us. So you see him all over the convention area and all throughout the United States. He's been doing a hell of a thing with his persona as Father Evil. So he's over at Bloodshed Farms here in New Jersey. It's a haunted attraction. I highly recommend it. If you're from New Jersey and you really want to get the shit scared out of you, go to Bloodshed Farms. They have about 4 different attractions. They have a hayride. They have a circus, like a demented circus. Those are just some of the things that they have to offer. It's extremely scary, but it's extremely fun. No one's going to come out and punch you in the face as you're walking by a haunted part of any of the attractions. They're great guys. They have the Bloodshed shack or whatever it's called, where they tie you up inside of a shack. It's one per person, or it's one person each time. They'll tie you to a chair. They'll turn all the lights out. They'll come at you with chainsaws and flickering lights. It's a really good time. So if you're in,
party.
Yeah, it's just like your bachelor party, or Tom Hanks with the dead donkey, and but it's a really good time. So check out Bloodshed Farms. That's where Father Evil is at right now. We had Dead Ed. Dead Ed is dead, but he's come back from the dead to be undead and do really funny interviews. So he's out there.
Still Ed.
He's still Ed. So that was pretty fun, and we just have a plethora of interviews. So please go check out our YouTube page. this week, and I'll have all these interviews up, each individual interviews, and you can check them out, share them, do whatever you want with them. So that's all I got to say about NJ HorrorCon. It was a good time, and the next one's in March, so you'll definitely see us there.
Oh, yeah, and speaking of YouTube, Brian, thank you. Any of you guys that are watching still, please subscribe to our YouTube page. You guys can watch any of our podcasts that we've done for the last 2 years. We've done a lot of them. We need more subscribers, so please follow the Horror
31
Syndicate.
more to get to 100, and then we can have a youtube.com/the Horror Syndicate. Which I want.
Really?
Yeah.
We can do it.
So if Real Splatter hasn't done it yet, Mike.
Yeah. My wife said something really funny. If you guys subscribe to the Horror Syndicate right now and watch every single episode of the Horror Syndicate live or THS lives, and you can spot my wife's butt, you might win something.
And Lex Quinn many times in a towel.
Lex Quinn in a towel, absolutely.
And
yeah, Real Splatter subscribed to THS.
Oh, good.
I'm doing my part.
I've done my part.
Would you like to know more about Lex Quinn in a towel?
Absolutely.
Oh, God.
I love Starship Troopers. I can't believe they made sequels. I think every 5 years they try to reinvent Starship Troopers with another sequel.
The only thing that is good, so Starship Troopers 2 was actually decent. It was very much a horror movie, but it had some cool moments. But the Roughnecks TV show they did for kids was fucking amazing.
Really?
Yeah, it's Paul Verhoeven produced it. It was really serious, and it's kind of violent it was a CG thing. They played it on PBS.
I heard of it, but I never watched any of them.
It's a really good DVD box set, but it's a really serious story. It's one continuous arc, and it's excellent. It actually made me cry a couple times.
Johnny Rico is back, right?
Yeah, it's really good. It's legitimately very good.
Now is he kept as the main character, or?
Yeah, it follows him and Diz and a couple other ones.
Diz?
Yeah, she's alive in the show.
They bring her back?
She didn't die in the show.
Oh, okay.
Is it live action or is it animated?
It's CG animation.
Okay, yeah, I've seen that around. I never took the chance on it. Maybe I will.
Yeah, me neither.
Really, really good.
Well, in the book, she dies in the first chapter.
I don't.
It's not. Diz is not a girl. It's a guy. And
yeah, that book is nuts.
Yeah, the book has the book and the movie are completely different.
They have jetpacks and shit.
Yeah, the jumpers. The CGI show is a lot of the stuff from the book.
Really?
A lot of stuff. Yeah, they've got the Skinnies, the other alien race that humanity teams up with, and all that shit. It's all in the show.
Really? That's cool.
How long is the show run?
Let me pull out the DVD. 1 second.
Starship Troopers could actually be an interesting video game, but I mean,
if they did it right, well, yeah, I agree with that 100%. But if they did it right, they probably could pull it off now.
I can imagine an Alien Isolation meets Starship Troopers.
You guys ever played the Starship Troopers game?
No.
Fucking batshit first-person shooter. There's they can support up to 500 enemies on screen at once. It's fucking insane.
What?
But is it good?
It's so fucking hard. It's unplayable and hard. It's cool.
What's the show called, Mike? Is it
called Roughnecks?
Roughnecks.
Roughnecks.
Well, wasn't the what's another animated show that was better than the movies? Wasn't it Star Wars, Rebel Wars or something like that?
It's 1 second.
It's got 4 discs.
Oh Jesus! I'm not buying this.
The show is 4. It was 4 seasons, I believe. And it's 778 minutes long. The whole thing.
Jesus, what's it retailing at, Ray?
On Amazon, used it's $85.
Holy fuck balls!
I'm sure it's on Prime.
It's 20 hours long. It's crazy.
It's 13 hours long, is what it says.
So it's basically what Paul Verhoeven wanted to do with the story, but as an animation, which is cool.
It's a kid's show. There's still some silliness in it, but overall it's pretty serious.
So you don't get to see men and women showering together?
No, I don't think so.
Is there any blood or anything like that?
A little bit of blood. They did 2 adult movies that are CG animation, but they're really they're creepily sexual. Like they always have like topless chicks jumping up and down and stuff, but it's like
Is it the Chronicles, the Zephyr campaign?
that's the cartoon show. That's the CG show one.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Starship Troopers one is like Traitor of Mars or something, and then there's another one.
The Pluto campaign?
Well, the campaigns are from the show.
Okay.
The show
they have all those separately.
Yeah, they have them separately, and they have a box set. But the adult movies that just came out are horrible, and they're just really, like I said, they're really creepily sexual. It's like watching anime porn. Not a fan.
I can't watch animation sex.
Did you guys hear about how Amazon has released the X version of RoboCop, which is basically the unrated version of RoboCop you probably own 5 copies of? No?
No, I hadn't heard that.
Amazon Prime has RoboCop on there, and it's 24 seconds longer, which is the extra squibs, the extra blood squibs and everything. I'm a huge fan of RoboCop. It's just seeing on the news. It's like seeing a thing like Veronica is so scary. People had to turn it off, and now it's like, have you seen the X-rated version of RoboCop? It's on Amazon Prime. Better get to it now. And there's like 500 like copies on DVD and Blu-ray within the last 10 years that is the unrated cut of RoboCop. I haven't seen the R-rated theatrical cut of RoboCop since RoboCop on VHS. But I don't know. That's just me. Don't be duped by Amazon Prime and any of the reviews coming out. The X-rated version of RoboCop is the unrated version of RoboCop, which you probably already own. So that's to you, Facebook land, in case you didn't know.
Even on eBay, the cheapest you can find it for is like $75.
Oh, what? The Rogue?
The Roughnecks.
Roughnecks. I think it's on the streaming service. Is it on Hulu? I think it's on Hulu.
You know what? I think you're right. I think I did see it on one of those.
I imagine it can't be like completely unavailable.
No, it was Hulu or Netflix. It was one of those. I think you're right.
Mm-hmm.
Are you looking? Because I'm gonna look.
I'm not looking.
I'm very interested in seeing it. If Mike likes something, I always want to check it out.
It's good. Like I said, it's a kid's show, so don't expect it to be like, hyper violent. But I mean, it's good. Like it starts off a little rough, if I recall, but it gets really good.
Because it's a roughneck show.
Yeah.
Well, that starts out rough.
I was gonna say I'm a kid that grew up on G.I. Joe and Rambo.
Oh my God, I love the Rambo show, the cartoon.
The cartoon, yes.
Give me Rambo.
Nobody knows about that shit. And there was like 65 episodes.
It's so funny.
And I had Rambo, Back to the Future. We were talking about video games earlier. Have any of you guys played the Animaniacs game for Sega? You get to play as the Toxic Avenger.
I had the Toxic Avenger game. I don't remember that being.
I remember that.
I didn't know it was
I have the Toxic Crusaders on the NES.
Yeah, I have it for Sega.
Yeah, no, I didn't remember. I never played the Toxic Crusaders for Sega.
It's terrible.
But the Animaniacs game,
it's not good.
the Animaniacs game, you got to play as Toxie, and it was like a different. His name was Melvin. It wasn't Toxic Avenger because of rights. But it was Melvin, the toxic man in a tutu with a mop. So there's that. Don't be confused. Animaniacs and Toxic Avenger is not the X-rated version of RoboCop. Seems like
it's not on Netflix or Hulu. The Starship Troopers thing.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, we're gonna
Starship Troopers is on Hulu, but that's it.
We're gonna have to go to Mike Lombardo's house and.
You guys are always welcome to watch Starship Troopers.
Sit him down for 700 hours. Is that what it was?
Yep.
700 hours. Oh lordy. It's funny because I do want to get together with you, Mike, and I want to watch this movie called Ghosts Can't Do It, and it's with Anthony Quinn, Bo Derek, and Donald Trump.
I remember.
It's a movie from the 80s.
Yeah, I remember that movie.
Yeah, did you see it?
Yeah.
It's garbage, right?
Yeah.
Shout Factory just released it on Blu-ray,
Oh,
and the movie is about a millionaire couple. Anthony Quinn, you seen him in The Last Action Hero. I talked about it the other day. He has a heart attack on a skiing trip with his wife. They're millionaires, and he comes back as a ghost. So the movie is about him as a ghost talking to his widowed wife, who is a millionaire. And he says, "I want to possess a body, but you got to find a young man whose body I can possess so I can feel young again." So this woman, the wife, the widow, goes around sleeping with all of these dudes, and Anthony Quinn is just not happy with the bodies he's possessing because he can't have full control. And then there's a scene where she's dancing to a song, and he's like in the background saying, "Yeah, I didn't know you could dance," and stuff like that. And of course the hot topic of the entire movie is Donald Trump won a Razzie Award for his portrayal of the part that he did in that movie.
Wow.
Oh, you mean his part as a fascist goldfish?
Yeah. So not a lot has changed between 1988, or was it? It came out in like 1990, I think. 1990 and 2018. But the fact that this movie exists and a Shout Factory wanted to release it, I think that's a good movie to watch too, Mike.
I will definitely do that. But actually, sadly, I have to get going, guys. I have a dinner date to attend at the moment. So I hate to duck out here a few minutes early, but I do have to get rolling. So I will talk to you kiddies later. Thanks to everyone who's still watching. This was a really fun episode. I hope you guys enjoyed listening to us.
We need his chat still, Mike.
Yeah, I'll hit you up in a little bit, Ray. We're just gonna go out and get some food, and then I will get back to you guys. But good times. Thanks for listening, everybody, and I will see you guys next week, I guess.
All right, thanks, Mike, and we'll talk to you real soon.
Yep, see ya.
All right, so ladies and gentlemen, Mike is out of the building. Now it's time to talk smack about him. I'm kidding.
One of our latest
to IMDb, Brian.
You're on IMDb?
Yeah, Ghost Can't Do It, 2.2.
What is it? Did I miss something when I was out of the room?
Yes, I was talking about the movie called Ghost Can't Do It. Ray has seen it. I have not seen it.
I have never even heard of such a thing.
Yeah, I saw it in my youth, like on cable. I haven't seen it since. I don't remember if it was good or bad, but it must be bad.
Is it as bad as the peanut butter solution?
Peanut butter solution's great.
Jared, making it short, it's about this millionaire couple played by Bo Derek and Anthony Quinn. Anthony Quinn dies of a heart attack during a skiing trip. So he becomes a ghost and tells Bo Derek to sleep with all these young men so he can possess their bodies and make love to her again. And Donald Trump's in it, and he wins the Razzie Award.
Ah, so that's what I came in on the last minute.
Yeah. So there's a Razzie Award
for Donald Trump, and he won.
Clint Shrink, if you are still watching, I have the peanut butter solution.
What is that?
You can watch it.
Have you never seen that movie, Brian? Peanut Butter Solution?
Never heard of it.
Oh, it's great.
It came out in 1985.
It's about a girl who lost her hair, and they put peanut butter in her hair, and her hair starts growing, and it doesn't stop growing, and then she gets kidnapped, and they make paintbrushes out of her hair.
That's a whole lot to take in.
Yeah, it's pretty fucking weird thing for kids to watch.
Isn't that right?
Huh?
Don't her friends have to rescue her or something?
I believe so.
That's the movie I saw one time back in the late 80s, I guess, and it must have had a profound effect if I remember the entire movie. And I only saw it the one time. I need to get it, though. I should have got it, too.
Yeah, I have to check that out. That sounds up my alley about putting peanut butter in your hair.
It's something that should probably play on VHS.
Right, if I can find it, we'll play it.
We won't have trouble finding it somewhere.
Those who follow the group page, VHS Midnight Presentation, we're back. For the month of October, we will be here every Friday night with a double feature of horror movies. I'm not going to tell you the name of these movies. But they're old, they're lost in time, they're forgotten. You haven't seen them in years, but they're here for one night only each Friday night.
Spoiler alert: Ghost Can't Do It is up first.
Oh yeah, Ghost Can't.
I don't know. I'm just joking.
Dude, if I can find Ghost Can't Do It, I will play Ghost Can't Do It. It will get dissected and destroyed.
I'm sure it would.
That's one of the lowest scores I've ever seen on IMDb.
Check out
Birdemic 5.
Pocket Ninjas.
Pocket
Well,
Ninjas.
I mean, a movie that has like actual celebrities in it, though.
Gary Daniels is in it.
Who the hell's that?
He was in a bunch of movies. Go look up the review for Pocket Ninjas.
Oh Jesus!
You can do it. I want you to look into the camera, and I want you to tell the world what rating that movie has.
That could be a topic for a future episode.
Oh, that's from '97.
Worst rated films.
1.5.
Oh, wow. Out of 10.
Yeah. Well, you remember when Barron was writing for us, he wrote a bunch of DOA, Dead on Arrivals, and he was going through the lowest rated horror movies on IMDb.
Yeah, and they were all Wild-Eye.
You know, but this one's got Robert Zadar.
Robert Zadar, yeah.
He has got the strongest jaw I've ever seen.
Yeah, and then Daniels. I have no clue who that guy is.
He's in a bunch of action movies. He was in The Expendables. He was like the main henchman to Eric Roberts.
Oh, really? Okay. He's in Blood Fist 4.
He was in Fist of the North Star, that movie that came out in the 90s.
He plays Kenshiro.
Yeah, he was the main guy in that movie. And he's also in the movie with Jackie Chan where he was Colonel Guile and Jackie Chan was Blanca.
Really?
Yeah, it's on YouTube. It's pretty wild.
I'm cool on that.
Street Fighter is a good movie, though.
Street Fighter is a great fucking movie. See, Street Fighter and Super Mario Brothers, I feel like the older you get, the more you appreciate them.
Yeah, but they're no Mortal Kombat.
Oh, get out of here with that garbage.
Mortal Kombat was really, really bad. My son's been playing Mortal Kombat, the video games, and he asked me if they ever made movies. I was like, yeah, they made a couple, and they're very bad.
The first one wasn't terrible, but the second one was god-awful.
I got to disagree. I reversed that.
You reversed it?
Yeah. I saw the second one in the theater because I was so pumped. I liked the first one, and I went and saw the second one. I came out, and I was like, fuck, yeah, that was awesome. And, you know, so I bought it on DVD or something like that. Years later, I'm like, what the fuck? I liked this when I was 15.
What was I thinking?
See, I can't imagine them playing the second one in theaters. And you're right, they did play it in theaters.
I saw it at the Dollar Theater.
That was a big thing.
Hey, birthday's on Sunday.
Oh, happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
There we go.
You're welcome.
How old are you going to be?
5.
5. Congratulations. That's a big number.
Very big.
Yeah.
My hair needs a good combing, Helena.
All right. Well, any final words with you guys before we wrap it up tonight's show?
No, it really bothers me. I had to disappear for a minute, but like I missed half the show, I think. I was wanting to watch a movie tonight. Now I can't remember what the damn movie is.
We do have one last comment before we shut off. Well, actually, 2.
I got you, man.
Clint Shrink says, I hear Brian likes the Resident Evil movies.
Yeah, he loves them.
I love them so much that I want to set the whole studio on fire. What was that, Sony Screen Gems?
Yep.
And then Ron Buchanan says, Brian loves all things Paul W.S. Anderson.
Here we go. I love Event Horizon.
Horizon.
That was a fun movie,
That's
and I'm
a good movie, actually.
For the unrated director's cut.
That's probably how he got the job for Resident Evil.
Yeah, well, he got that after Mortal Kombat. But no, yeah, everything else that he's touched has turned to crap. And if I ever see him in public, I'm going to shame him. I'm like, you rich bastard. I hope you're happy with the childhood that you destroyed.
Let me ask you a question, Brian.
Yo.
Off Resident Evil. Reynolds, my son's 9, Reynolds,
Mm-hmm.
I really am debating on showing him Demons. What are your thoughts?
Oh, definitely. Demons is a fun movie.
Yeah.
Like, there's nothing really sexual about Demons.
No, that's the things I stay away from. Those and ghost stories, because we went the other day and he's like, so I'm doing my 31 movies every day. Like every day I watch a horror movie in October, and now I'm doing the same thing with Reynolds, but he's got to watch something new, and I either pick a couple and let him pick. Like he watched House 2, and I don't remember some other things too. He loved House 2 and House.
You know what you should do? You should show him Demons when you have the campfire outside.
I got 4 movies that I got planned for that, but and it was supposed to rain. That's now the rain's off the radar for that day, so that's next Saturday. But he wanted to watch Insidious.
Okay.
And well, we watched it Wednesday, and the little like jump scares they have in the movie, which actually are kind of effective in that movie. He got through about 3 of them, and then the last one he saw he only had like an hour left. But if you remember the movie, there's a part where they're going through the photographs of Patrick Wilson's character, and you see the lady in the background.
Yeah.
And each photo she got closer and closer. He just looked at me. He's like, "I'm done." It scared. He's like, "I can't watch this anymore."
Yeah, so, and, they're a little rough.
What's that?
They're a little rough to watch, especially if you watch them at night.
Too, but he can't do ghost stories because I was like, if you can watch this, we can watch The Conjuring. But I know the clapping scene is going to scare the shit out of him, so I can't watch that. Because he went with me to see It last year, and the beginning of the movie when Georgie, the whole scene with Georgie happened, and then the scene with in the library, he was done after that, and we had to leave. So yeah. So now I'm getting ready to order tickets for Halloween, and I'm like, we're not leaving the fucking theater.
No.
Halloween. Because I want to watch. He's like, oh, Halloween's nothing. I'm like, yeah, that's true. They're not scary.
No, I think this one's gonna be from what I've been hearing, that this Halloween is more like a revenge action movie.
Yeah, there's a lot of horror movies that I'm noticing that they're not scary. They're more like action movies, with a horror theme, I guess.
I think Reynolds and Demons would work perfectly because it's just a fun.
It's a fun movie. Yeah, it's not like too serious. It's got good music and.
Well, not just the music. I mean, the lead guy is basically like midway through the movie, he turns into an action hero. You know, because like one of the parts that I've always loved at the end of the movie is whenever they're escaping through the roof, and then the guy with the metal face shows back up, and he's hanging on for dear life, and it just reminded me of an action movie. And then the very end, of course, with when they get into the Jeep, that's a very action movie ending, I love that movie. Not as much as I love Demons too. Well, that's wise because I want to show them Demons too.
Yeah, Demons 2 is a fun movie too. It's not too bad.
Dude, that's one of my. If you would have saw my list, it's one of my top 33 favorites. It's like number 31 or 32.
Yeah, I liked it. I thought it had great music too. It was like getting to the end of the '80s, so you're starting to listen to all like those like alternative metal bands play.
It came out 1 year later, '86. But like I saw that. Here, so we want to hear a little bit about my horror education. I lived in North Carolina, California, close to San Diego, and a place called Vista. And it was the apartment complex we lived in was chock full of Marines, And so there was this big buff black dude who lived across from us, but downstairs, and he had a waterbed. And the waterbed had the drawers, and it was full of VHS tapes of and it was all. He said there were bootleg VHS tapes with 3 horror movies on there, and I could go over there anytime to borrow them. That's how I saw Leatherface, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3, Demons 2. He had all these great movies, and Demons 2 was one of the first ones I saw, and that fucked me up. And I was like, I need more of this. He didn't have Demons. I didn't see Demons until I was in high school.
Yeah.
But because of that, I love one of the scenes that always stuck with me, other than the dog monster thing, was the transformation of the main character, Sally. Her teeth were coming out, and the new teeth were growing in, but they like popped out and it was so fucking gross, and I loved it. I loved every second of it, and that's probably why I like the second one better. It is not as good. I mean, the first one's really, I think, a good movie. I mean, plus it has one of the best boob scenes ever with the straight razor in the boob.
I was about to say that's probably the only scene you don't want to show around.
He's seen boobs before.
There you go. As if you couldn't tell that Demons is one of my favorite horror movies of all time.
Right. But yeah, one of the best things about Demons is like out of nowhere you see these punks driving around snorting coke out of a Coke can through a straw. Their introduction in the movie is so weird. It like, oh my God, do you have Shudder, Brian?
I do have Shudder, yeah.
You have got to see the Joe Bob Last Drive-In Demons, because he talks about it. Like he interrupts the movie and talks about different things. It's fabulous.
So I gotta ask, because I don't know anything about that. Is it like him commentating throughout the whole movie, or does he just like introduce him?
Him playing. He starts off with about 5 or 10 minutes of a cold open. Then they jump into the movie. He cuts in like after 20 minutes after certain.
So it's like he did it with Monster Vision.
Yeah, it's like commercial breaks, exactly, and it's wonderful. And in the Sleepaway Camp episode, he has Felissa Rose on, which is great, and she mentions going to the conventions with Joe Bob. And I mean, all the movies he picked, with maybe 3 exceptions, I'd say, were wonderful, because he's got Basket Case, Hellraiser's one of them. The Prowler, I'm not a fan of that movie as much. It's okay. But I think Daughters of Darkness is on there, and that's awful. And the Herschel Gordon Lewis movie, is that his name?
Herschel Gordon Lewis, yeah.
So his movie, Blood Feast, that's on there, which was the first time I'd ever seen it. But there's 12 or 13 movies, and it's addictive as fuck, because like I watched them all like almost in a row. But I went back and forth to the ones I wanted to watch first, because like Tourist Trap is on there, and the Slimeball Bolorama movie with Linnea Quigley, which I gotta say, that's probably her best role. Never shows her boobs once, but she's such a fucking badass character in the movie.
Such a professional role.
And there's also a role reversal. There's not a Scream Queen. It's the guy who's kind of the Scream Queen type character, which is Andres Jones, who was in A Nightmare on Elm Street 4.
Yeah.
But I mean, the selection of movies, I can't wait till they do that. They're supposed to do another one for Halloween and Christmas, and I hope they show Silent Night, Deadly Night 2. And I want to hear what because he goes through and talks about the production of the movie, and talks about some of the people who were in the movie and what they've also done, and the whole thing with Demons, Demoni, as he kept calling it, of course. He talked about, people think about it like we've talked about before, think of it as an Argento movie, but it's not.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like,
produced it.
Right. There are many big time Italian horror people involved in that movie. And it's really great. I really suggest, Brian, if any of them, just watch Demons, because you love that movie and you'll love it.
Yeah, I'll check it out, definitely.
Absolutely. And sorry, I was reading what Keith wrote. But anyway, yeah, I highly suggest. It got so bad that I was watching Joe Bob's Last Drive-In, that like every time I watched something, I was waiting for him to fucking show up. Seriously, and talk about what happened in the last scene. And I really feel like I cheated myself by not watching his show back when I was younger.
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly how he did it on Monster Vision. He'd have like a 5 or 10 minute interlude every commercial break.
I really wish I would have watched that back. I think I'm pretty sure I had a capability of doing it, because we had the channel, but I watched Up All Night instead, and all I did was watch fucking trauma movies.
Oh man, well, at least you got trauma out of your system at a young age.
Yeah, I had the only trauma movie I've seen since then, I think, was Toxie. So, I think there was another one. Mother's Day, that's a trauma movie, right?
That's a trauma one, yeah.
I've seen that since then. I have that on DVD actually. There's got to be another one, but anyway.
Yeah, let's wrap this episode up.
Nurses.
Let's wrap this episode up. My name is Brian Enright. You can follow me on Facebook and Instagram and all that fun stuff. You find me on Facebook as Brian Enright. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter at The Horror Jew. Up next, we have Jared Letourneau. Jared, tell the world where we can find you, my friend.
You guys can follow me on Facebook at Jared Letourneau or on the Twatverse at @zombie_survivor. Guys, if you're watching, be sure to check out our website, thehorrorsyndicate.com, for any updates, any reviews that we do. I just did a review for the Blu-ray release of The Endless. It was a very crazy sci-fi horror film that will sit with you long after you watch the movie. It really helps when you guys visit our website, so horrorsyndicate.com. We always got reviews going up. Sorry, that was long-winded. Good night.
No,
kids.
no.
No.
Thank
It's
you
not
very
just
much.
reviews. We do other things too. Lists.
Lists.
And we've got some great new writers. Jenny's been writing with us for a few months now. Chuck Ransford, who's who's killing it with weird content lately. Excuse me. Like his last article was about an exorcism of a German girl from the 50s or something like that. Annalisa Michelle, which I've known about, I've read about, which reminded me, but made me want to think about that case about Elisa Lam. You guys ever hear about that?
Yes.
With the hotel out in LA.
Oh yeah.
You ever hear about that, Brian?
Is that the one where the woman gets in the elevator and she's down in like a water tank?
Yeah, that nobody can access. Anyway, yeah, it got me thinking about. I would like to get more content like that up. Ghost stories and actual events of things like exorcisms, which I don't really fully believe, but yeah, it's pretty cool. So we've got all kinds of. I have an article about the my local haunt of the Seven Gates of Hell. And there's a place called Bachelor's Grove in Chicago, which is supposedly one of the most haunted places. I visited in 2007. I'm thinking about writing an article about that. It's a cemetery, and there's a house that appears and disappears. And I actually saw the house. I didn't see it disappear, but the house that's supposed to be there is actually not there in the daytime. It's weird because I've been there both times. But they say it disappears in the night. But we walked out to the location, and it was gone the next day. I actually saw it, so I don't believe in ghosts. Anyway, sorry.
No, where can we find you, right?
Razor _33 on Twitter. Razor33. That's RAYZ. Or yeah, ZOR33, the number 33 on Instagram, where I'm posting 31 horror shirts in 31 days, and I'm shouting out where I'm getting them. Also, places like T-Villain, which their shirts are limited for like 24 hours, or Paul Bearer Press, or our buddies over at Atomic Cotton out in Jared's neck of the woods. Because I've got about 5 or 6 of their shirts. And Rosemary's Baby was the one I wore the other day. And then today's is from Joel Robinson, who does a lot of Scream Factory art. This is actually the art on the Suspiria Synapse Blu-ray. If you want to see more there, it's a pretty cool shirt. And then you can find me on Facebook. I don't know if I have a doc. I think it's just look up Ray Merrick. That's all. MAREK. And we have a giveaway video for the barn on Blu-ray that ends on October 20th. So check that out. It's pinned at the top of our Facebook page. And yes, please go subscribe to our YouTube page. We need 31 more to do our little, youtube.com/the Horror Syndicate.
Yeah.
YouTube will let you do it till you get 31 subscribers. So
right.
Yeah, that's all I got. Thanks for joining us tonight, everyone. Thanks, Brian, for coming back.
Hey, not a problem. Thank you for having me. So as we zone out, please stay tuned for our giveaway video, and everyone have a great night and stay safe.
All right, I'm gonna end the broadcast on YouTube too.